So all I really have to say is Madam Web is definitely a fantastic MCU project. It deserves to be in the MCU, and I believe that Marvel should give the rights to the MCU, and take it and just pass it all to Sony. It would fix the multiverse issue because I know people complain about it, and Beyond the Spider Verse definitely is overrated. I just had the craziest dream that Madam Web was a good movie, and I haven't even seen the real movie. Oh yeah, we should probably do that review of Godzilla X Kong. Godzilla X Kong. Let's talk about it. Godzilla X Kong just recently came out to theaters, and I saw it opening weekend, and I had a phenomenal time. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire is why movie people love to go to theaters. It is a blockbuster of a film. It is fantastic. It's fun. The action is fun and amazing and spectacular. That's all I really have to say. That's like the movie is just dumb fun, pretty much. Just turn your brain off and enjoy some action and watch some monsters fight. That's what the movie essentially is. And this movie, it knows what it is. It delivers. Now, some people say the movie is a bit too childish and outlandish, but I don't mind it. Like, I went into the movie with the perspective of it's not Oscar bait. It's just a fun time, and that's why we go to the theaters, for a fun time, for a good experience. So, I want to talk more about the movie. Of course, non-spoilers. I don't like to spoil my movie reviews. So, it's really cool to see how Kong interacts with the Hollow Earth. Like, he moves there in the last film, and seeing him adapt and be a part of that world is really cool and interesting to see, and it's honestly one of the best parts of the movie. Seeing how he interacts with humans, seeing how he interacts with other Titans is really cool to see, and that's probably the best part of the movie. Kong, like, this movie is essentially a Kong sequel. Godzilla is in the movie, but he's barely in it. I'll get more to that in a bit. So, the early talks of the movie was like a Son of Kong movie, and he meets Zuko, another ape. He's a Titan. He's a kid, obviously, and I say their father-son relationship develops into something really good, and I love the way they set that up because there was no lines of dialogue. They're not like roaring at each other, really. Like they're not like roaring for dialogue. You could just see in like their eyes, and the way they handle building that relationship is really cool, and it just shows that some movies just don't need lines of dialogue. That's, in my opinion, a really expert way to craft a film. Like, if you're making a movie about Titans, you're building a story, you're building characters, and you know who the person is, essentially. Like, you know who Kong is watching this movie. And I think that was really well crafted. That's phenomenal, in my opinion. Best part of the movie, I think. Kong, just phenomenal. Alright, let's move on to Godzilla. So if you're a Godzilla fan, this is not going to be a Godzilla movie. He's barely in the movie, but the times he is in the movie, he's powering up. He's preparing for some type of war. He doesn't, there's something coming. And that's what he really comes to until the very end. Again, his fights are awesome, though. It's a very fun time to see him. But I feel like if they were to remove him from the movie, nothing much would change except for the length of the movie being shorter. But overall, it was good to see him again, and there isn't much really else to say about Godzilla in the movie because he's barely in it, but he's phenomenal when he is. And he's very fun to see. Okay, what's next? So the villain is Scar King, and I really liked him. He's honestly my favorite villain in the MonsterVerse so far. Scar King is like a ape dictator almost. He's a very awful ape, and he's very menacing and frightening, and seeing him go up against Kong, it was very scary to see, and it left me, the whole movie left me in suspense of like what's gonna happen, what's gonna come about. And Scar King is really, like, he's honestly an unpredictable villain. He has some surprises in the movie, and overall, like, he has a personality to him. He's not just some giant kaiju monster. He has personality. He is a dictator. He has a goal. I cannot really, without spoilers, talk more about that. That's all I really have to say for him, but he's phenomenal. One of my favorite villains in the series. Okay. That's all I really have to say about the villain. The only negatives I have are, honestly, the human subplot. I feel like most of it was like just pushing the story forward, and by the end of the movie, it's kind of fantastical and very just. It felt weird because they were almost necessary for the kaijus to win, and I was shocked by that. I was like, really? Let's say the human subplot like just felt very necessary, and that's probably the weakest part of the movie. But again, fun film. Most of the time, it's kaijus, and the human subplot part honestly goes pretty quick. It usually dives right back into whatever the kaijus are doing. So it's a fun movie. You better see it in theaters. It is a theater experience you should not miss. It's really good. There are no mid-credit scenes or post-credit scenes, so you can leave once the movie's over. But I heard something about talks for another one coming out. That's all I really have to say. But overall, I'm going to give the movie a 7 out of 10. It's just fun. It's my favorite. It's personally my favorite movie in the MonsterVerse. So that's all I really have to say. Fun time. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys want to, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And have a good rest of your day. Bye.